And we're live.
Oh,
Live from the scene of a potential crime scene at Brandon's
what?
house.
What was I even
Brandon, what's
talking
going on?
about? I don't know. There's people
Everybody,
digging through the garbage trying to like say, I want this box. You get the
where
other
do you
box.
live?
I live in Columbus. It's not I don't know. People dumpster diving, I guess. I'm into it. Like
You
get
live in
it.
Columbus, eh?
Yeah.
I love Columbus. Easton Gateway. I like to stop there on my drive up to Michigan, go to the Whole Foods, nice little mall there, you know?
Ah, Easton. Next time you're there, you have to go to Hot Chicken Takeover if you like spicy chicken.
I will. Yeah, I usually stop at North Star.
I love North Star, that black bean burger.
Yeah,
See,
I'll see
look
you
at
there.
that, Vince. Invite me anytime.
First date, Brandon. First date.
Listen, bring the girlfriend. We'll have fun.
Yeah, I like
I'll be your date, Brandon.
that.
Yes.
Okay, let's get into the actual recap because we have
Yeah.
not been doing much of that.
Let's talk our shit. Let's talk our shit.
Can we? Okay, I have to say the Twins are growing on me this season. They really are doing like excellent gameplay. They're up, they're down, they're influencing, even when they're the second influencers. I'm interested to see how this blocking is going to turn out. And it doesn't seem anybody really caught on. Like everybody's friends with Gianna. Everybody wants to make out with Gianna. We found out in the Fuck, Marry, Kill game that they named something else. So,
Yeah.
do you think the Twins stand a shot at winning?
So I do. I think they really do. I think the problem I have is I just feel like I still don't really know them. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I'm still watching a characterization of who they actually are. And for me, I can't connect with that. I need to know that you are also a human being and that you have days where you're just not on it constantly. Like I don't want to see you you always have a good comeback. You're always, just perfectly put together for the image that you want online instead of being real with people. I think they're like, this is what our shtick is on TikTok and Instagram, and this is what we're gonna do in the circle.
Okay, that's fair. Vince, are you familiar with the Twins?
I am not familiar with the Twins. I need a little Twins background.
So they are the most Staten Island of Staten Island that you can Staten Island, and that is the best way to describe them. I have dated many a twin in my lifetime. Brandon, can you like summarize their personalities or?
Yeah, I think so. That's the thing. I still don't feel like I know them. And that's why I'm having such a hard time. Like, I can't really root for them because I don't feel like I know them. I feel like I know their persona, which is very like you said, that Staten Island, like, this is where I'm from, family for life. We get together,
Yes,
we get
represent.
together, we get together on Sundays. We have the pasta. It's very Jersey Shore. It's very
It
Jersey Shore. And I love Jersey Shore. I love it. I love it. I love it. But this is not that show. So I'm just kind of like, show me some vulnerability, dudes. Like, show me that you have some heart and that you are, yes, you're there and it's a game. I know we've talked about that. But at the same time, this is a different type of game. And
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm struggling with the Twins. I want to like them, but I can't connect with them because I don't dig just this over characterization. I just don't dig it. I'm not into it. You're more than that. And I know they
Yeah,
have more.
and I will say that as a general rule, that type of man from my experience is not one to show their emotions and share, the deep personal stories and, you know, get really down and dirty about their lives. So I don't know if they're going to have that, but I agree there needs to be something more than
I'm
just
gonna I'm gonna counter here, Dina, because Joey Sasso.
Joey. Okay, I said in my dating experience. Now, Joey did show. I love Joey. I talked to Joey.
Well, no,
frequently,
I meant saying
like
like,
emotion.
yeah, like for the twins, if they pulled a Joey Sasso and was like, okay, this is a big, and we still might get it. We're still early,
Right.
but
Yes.
if they pulled this is like emotion, I'm gonna wear my heart on my sleeve for a second, then yes, then I'll be like, okay, I get these boys, I understand them. But until that, I'm just kind of like, I'm not rooting for your character. I'm not rooting for it.
I think they really tried this season to pull that out of them when they were talking about Gianna and how the two. See, I don't even know that. Oh God, I feel terrible. I keep referring to them to the twins because I don't remember who's who. But they were talking about if they were going to get married and buy a ring if they won, and they're like, it was like trying to pull that out of them, and it was just shut down immediately. Like, well, I'm only 24, so we're not going to worry about that right now. And I think that would have been the moment, and I think that ship has sailed. So I don't know that we're going to see that. We also have, so Vince, we have all these games that are like not really games, but seem to have a heavy aftermath to them. Like there was a painting challenge where everybody had to paint each other or draw each other as goats. And so in those, there's people, they're all anonymous. We don't know we know who's drawing who. The players don't know who's drawing who. And that brought up a lot of tension. And there's one main player, Madeline. I don't know if you agree with me, Brandon, but who is stirring the pot and making up drama and pretty much lying to win the game.
Yeah.
Now she's getting a lot of hate online, but so far it seems to be working out in her favor. So what do you guys think of that style of gameplay that, like, I don't want to say lie, cheat, steal, that's not what she's doing, but like those vibes, if there was going to be one person to do that this season, the villain of the season.
I don't hold it against anyone. Like, if you are, the layperson is lying to themselves watching this. If they're like, oh, I would go up there and just be so diplomatic when there is that amount on the line. It's like the people who win Survivor are always the most cutthroat, deceitful people for the most part. And I do not hold it against them. They have just bettered their life by so much.
Brandon, what are your thoughts on the game, the strategy with Madeline?
I agree. I think it's a game for $100,000. There are going to be moments where you're cutthroat. You're doing what you have to do to win. I mean, I had to make a decision that like I had to do that.
Yeah.
And so like I get it. I think I think her explanation for it is probably not the best. I think she's being a little vicious in her own apartment. She's talking to herself the way she would talk to herself, I think, in real life, and not like she's on camera, which I think is great. That makes good reality TV. But there are going to be consequences for those actions.
Of course.
And I think there's a difference between being cutthroat in the game and then being cutthroat in what you're saying about someone's character. So
I agree.
I personally love Madeline. I think she's funny. I've talked to her a few times. I think she's funny. And she seems very nice. But in the show, I think she's really trying to bring the heat. And I don't know if she's 1,000% cut out for it, because when she met Andy, she cried.
Yes.
And so I think she's doing it because she wants a good TV moment. But the problem is, I don't think she can't back it up. Like me, I was sitting over here talking about how I would drag Autumn out in like all this jazz because I said it and I meant it. But she said all these things about Andy and then was like, oh my God, I'm so upset. I'm watching them leave. I can't believe I said this. It's
Right.
like, but girl, you made the choice to say it. You were acting like a badass, but you had no follow through. Own it.
Yeah.
Own it.
I think it's easier behind a screen, right? You guys know it's easier for you to be bullied from behind a screen than it is once you see somebody real life. And especially because it turned out that Andy was a catfish, even though Andy really was Heather. Like, I don't think there was an aspect of the gameplay that wasn't Heather other than the pictures. But, oh, Brandon, not again. Brandon.
I hope the people outside didn't get him concerned.
Oh my God. What if they did? What if the thing they were fighting over was Brandon?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people fight over Brandon.
Brandon, I'm kicking you out and pulling you back in. Hold on 1 second. Nope. My deck skills are very limited. Maybe. Oh.
I see he's trying.
Refresh.
Like, I can tell he's trying.
We see movement, Brandon. And now he's gone. This is going great, guys. We're live.
Yeah.
Waiting for Brandon. I'm so sorry, Mads. I can't. We've tried to have fans on before, and I can chat with you for a few minutes off camera and maybe bring you on next time. So just DM me because I can't do it right now while we're live. And there he is again.
So someone from keeps calling me, and I'm just like, I don't know anybody in Utah. So if you're watching this and you live in Utah, and for some reason you have my number, please screw off. Like, leave me alone.
Email the pod and we'll gatekeep. And if you're trying to get a date, we have an application first, okay? You don't just get on a date with Brandon without going through Vince and I.
Right. Message Dina and Vince and leave me alone for right now.
Latter-day Saints is calling the recruiting, so, you know.
Yeah, they're trying to say, watch your mouth.
Okay, so back into it. Madeline targets Darian. That was interesting to me because I feel like there are definitely bigger threats in the game. Why do you think she picked Darian?
She's trying to break up the guy squad. I mean, like, I get that choice. I just think, I don't know. I was really like justice for Andy. Like, I reached out to Madeline. I actually like sent her a DM on Instagram because we have talked before, but I was just like, hey girl, like, how you doing? And she goes, well, I'm getting a lot of hate and blah, 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 which I mean, I understand people are fans of the show and there's always going to be that, but like, I think they don't think of it as a game. They look at it and they're like, how could you do that to my favorite player? But she felt bad. I mean, she did feel bad. And I was just like, girl, like, it's going to be good. Like, Madeline does have a heart. I think she was just trying. She was really trying to make a big move. I just think it was the wrong move.
Yeah. I don't think it'll help her gameplay at all, getting rid of her biggest alliance. But I only have about 8 minutes, so I can let you guys stay on beyond because Brandon, you do have the controls to this if you want. So in this 8 minutes, I'm going to turn it over to you, Brandon. What are like the biggest things that your biggest takes from this set of episodes?
I think it's brutal. I think it is funny. I think there's some things that are a little out there where I'm kind of like, okay, I'm not a big fan of that. But overall, I'm still invested in the players. So I think that means I think this season is going well because I am invested in the players. I just think there needs to be a switch up from this like dating thing. So as much as I love Darian and I am rooting for Darian, I don't know if it would be 1,000% a bad thing if he got sent home, because then it would allow Jadeja to play the game as Jadeja and not as Jadeja and Darian. And I think
Yeah.
that would be beneficial to her. But I do love them as a couple. I think it is cute. I'm just kind of overhearing about it.
Yeah, it just seems like so little to go off of before committing to somebody for life.
What? It's
Vince.
the episodes. It's episodes 4 through 8, right? That's what we're on. So
Yeah.
we're on day like 4. We're on day like 4 or 5. So I'm like 4 or 5, and you're asking for a wedding ring. Yeah, calm down.
I couldn't imagine what that's like, Vince.
Sorry, Vince, not to shit on you, but
yeah.
But what
Some
were
people,
you thinking?
some people love it. Some people love it. Hey, look, I was willing to give it a chance. I was like, maybe it's true. Maybe I'll fall in love in 5 days and decide I'm gonna marry this person.
yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, that's not
That's
that's not
simply
gonna happen.
Well, because at that point, all you've gotten to know each other, but you've also built up that oh my God, when we see each other, it's going to be like passion, passion, passion. And I think that's kind of, I mean, you tell me, Vince, isn't that like you meet and you're like, oh yeah, of course, it's new. It's, we've talked, now I'm getting to see you in front of me. And then it's like the honeymoon phase ends and you're like, oh shit, I don't even like you.
Well, for me, I think if Olivia was on the other side of that wall, it would maybe different outcome. But truthfully, think of it like this. Jeremy's in Orlando right now. You go to Disney World, right? You're in a different world. It's magical, right? You're there for a week, and you're not in reality anymore. Really, you're really not. And then when you go back to the real world with that person that you've just proposed to, reality sinks back in. You gotta go back to work. The bills are there. The food's not as good. Mickey Mouse isn't following you around with balloons trying to sell you ice cream, right? You've got this person you really don't know that now you're actually trying to know, and you're not in a controlled environment where you're in this like multi-million-dollar home environment and somebody's bringing me filet mignon and a twice baked potato, and I have unlimited cocktails all day. Okay, it's gonna be a little different. Yeah.
God, that sounds amazing.
To wrap things up, last week we made predictions, and Cassie is sick, so I forgot to mention live that she is not here, but she will be back. But Brandon, your prediction, I believe, was Deb or Garrett winning.
Yeah.
Are you sticking with that?
I think for now I'm gonna have to stick with it. For now. Oh God, fingers crossed.
Okay, now Vince, I'm just going to give you the names of the players. You tell me, just based on name alone, who you think is going to win the circle. So we have, and this is in the reverse lineup of the last ratings. So last to first. So we have Darian in last, then Tierra, Madeline, Kevin, a tie for third between Garrett and Jadeja, Rachel, and then Gianna being the influencer and Kevin being an influencer who was selected. So not necessarily placed, but selected. So out of those names only, who's going to win the circle?
Rachel.
Okay. So Rachel, Deb. That's 2.
Yeah.
I am going to stick with Garrett and say maybe Dark Horse Jadeja. I think she's going to start becoming her own.
I really hope so. I mean, I'm rooting for her, but I am like, girl, you can't give this bad bitch energy that you're talking about when you're too stuck on boy toy. So if you want to use that bad bitch energy, get off the guy.
Listen, we've all been there, okay?
Yeah.
Anybody who says they have not gone gaga over a man, granted that you definitely know is that man, but people have done it with Catfish too.
He's gorgeous.
From what she knows, he might be a 70-year-old old lady.
My exact thoughts. We see him, we're like, oh my God, he's gorgeous. But she sees him, she's like, he's gorgeous, but what if he's 80? Like it's
Yeah.
that's why the
It's a
circle
tricky
can't be
situation.
a
the
dating show.
game.
Mm-mm.
But we will have a dating show. Vince is going to start vetting some applications for you, Brandon. So if you want to date Brandon on our podcast, please email lovepod.podcast@gmail.com. You can text or call us at 480-788-8558. Know that it's not my personal number. Yes, I will block you if you get weird. Or, of course, follow us at the Love Pod Podcast. Gentlemen, thank you so much. As always, Vince, thank you for co-hosting the show. Feel free to catch up for next week's episodes, and maybe we'll get into a recap a little bit more. Any last words before we hop off of here?
Vince, I'm glad I got to meet you.
Yes, likewise. I'll see you in Columbus.
Heck yeah.
Maybe you guys can do a date next week and do it together live.
Oh, well, let me check my schedule. I have all these suitors, so
All right.
Good talking to you. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
you
Thanks for watching
guys.
the Love Pod, everyone.
bye.